DG, that truly was another outstanding effort. Where would we be without your ablative skill set? This guy just talks like this, doesn't he? Ablative?
Sure does.
We've already had a great many takers for it, though no one's made the summit. Perhaps they'll feel more confident once Indy's back with the crash mats from the abandoned health club. Heck, I might even have a climb myself. Indy challenged me to make it to the top, and, well, they don't know it. But I was actually a bit of a mover and a shaker back in the day, you know? You climbed? You bouldered? That seems like the only relevant answer. Oh, we're about to be cleaning a ceiling in here. We have a whole roller disco. DeMarcus Aureolus. DeMarcus Aureolus. Crazy name. Welcome to the town of Bucketon. I don't know how to pronounce most of the things I'm seeing. Home of the Tacket Dorger?
What?
Welcome to the town of Buckton, home of the Tacket Dorger. If you don't know what that is, it's a taco shaped like a hot dog that tastes like a burger. Traditionally served by a dog in a lederhosen, but that's not relevant to its name, or the taste. Or this job, for that matter. Thanks. Anyway, the reason you're here is that we've just had a huge win. For years now, local enterprises have been forced to use our old roller disco as a makeshift premises. But an anonymous benefactor has come through with a substantial donation. It means we can roll everyone out into our brand new community hub and still have enough left over to clean this place up and restore it to its original purpose. Lace your boots, y'all. Buckton's back on the map. Or Buckyton, who knows? I appreciate the cohesion of the gameplay, that the gross shit looks the same everywhere, but it does raise a question of how anything looks like this ever. What happened? Did every building we visit get slimed? Clean up them lockers.
There's a lot of STDs on these walls.
Oh no. Still? Like they're persisting?
Yeah. I mean, like just look at it.
They need to be studied by science.
I'd accept tetanus, but STDs, damn.
Oh, it's got that 80s vaporwave shit.
That vaporwave STD. Venereal disease to study / relax too.
Jesus Christ.
The important.
Ansu, since you're like familiar with all the PowerWash lore, is Harper Shaw a villain? Is he like an antagonist? I don't have a read on the personality of Harper Shaw.
Harper Shaw.
You addressing Ansu right after I said that made me think you're gonna be like, Ansu, since you're putting up with us on the daily.
Whoa, whoa, no.
Harper Shaw. I don't really know the lore by like people's names. I know that people have beef with Mr. PowerWasher.
Okay. Because that's just what I'm trying to. They like dropped a name at the end of the first one as like sort of a villain character, and I was like, what? There's like moral dynamics.
Villain. Someone is going all the places up. God damn.
It's him. He's a comer.
Because that does sort of become my like, without having the patience to read absolutely anything on screen, just my assumption is that whoever is giving us these jobs, it's just like a little like, we're like a little superhero following the dirt villain Harper Shaw, who just mucks everything up.
The
2 steps ahead of us.
So he's 2 steps ahead. Maybe he works at our company so we can make a living.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, he's actually.
I mean, he's not.
The whole company's corrupt. On it.
So in the first game, Harper Shaw's old phone was stolen by a time traveler and is repeatedly used to contact the power washer using this. So it shows up as Harper messaging us.
But it's not actually him. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so we actually get a job to hint at that, where it's Harper Shaw, parentheses, new number, when they mention that they lost their phone in the desert, and then we're getting messages from Harper for later missions that are clearly not from them.
This all reminds me of the time where in our general chat, someone was trying to explain to me that, like, Call of Duty Zombies has a really deep and interesting lore, and it's all like, then Thomas Jefferson invented the zombie virus. And you're like, please, please, I can't. I can't.
When Thomas Jefferson did that, I cried, man.
You're making it sound awesome.
Like, does it have a deep lore, or does it just have a lot of stuff that they've said at you? Mostly improvised. The water has a really nice sparkly vibe to it when you're spraying these neon ass walls.
This font is really close to Comic Sans, and it's upsetting me a little.
Comic Sans has a time and place.
The time and place is when you're trying to hurt perp.
Sometimes I'm just like, is something actually bad taste, or is it like a Nickelback style, like, popular thing to complain about?
No, Comic Sans is bad. Especially it's the fact that it's like the bright, like, screaming, like, full cyan, like, computer hex value.
I do amusingly primarily associate Comic Sans with Silent Hill.
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh no!
The Welcome to Silent Hill sign being in Comic Sans. So fucking funny.
Goddamn.
It just kind of. I just realized as you said that, where I was just like, there's Team Silent, there's Team Bloober. I don't know who the fuck worked on those remakes. They're lost to time. Nobody wants that on their resume.
Well, I mean, they're just not that remarkable. A lot of remake teams go really under the radar.
I guess so.
They were definitely known. Specifically, I remember watching the 2-hour video essay at the time that was breaking down all the things that were wrong with it by Twin Perfect.
Is that the one where you have the nerd? Yeah, I think it was. I just love his shot of, like, going to the mailbox, picking it out. Like,
yeah. Those were interesting. That was an interesting little 2-part series thing. That channel got bad. That channel got so bad at some point. Like, just really, really frustratingly contrarian. The Justice League is good, actually. We solved Twin Peaks, like, just kind of annoying videos. But they kind of lost their purpose when they ran out of Silent Hill things to talk about, because they covered every single one. And then I think they had a falling out with their friend group. So mysteriously, only one of the people really was hosting from then on. I was like, you know what? No. I'm going to actually stop watching this one now.
No, they were definitely, like, one of the more old school, like, directly aping an angry video game nerd vibe.
By doing, like, real life skits and stuff like that, sort of along the way. It's like fucking retro ass, like, movie Bob vibe.
No, I kind of remember it because I want to say whenever that came out, I was, like, probably still in high school, and I think it was sort of it's, like, stupid to say, but it was, like, maybe the first time I considered that AAA video games could be bad.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
It was just like no, it was Konami made it though. Like, it had to be kind of good, right? It's like, no.
What about most of the Silent Hills that existed at the time?
I definitely thought they were all good because I was an edgy high school teenage
wild.
Just like, yeah, Silent Hill.
A lot of people don't learn to critically assess things for a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that experience. The first movie where I realized movies were bad, because I knew that there was movies I liked more, but movies I didn't really care about. But when I first learned that movies could be bad, it's because I went to theaters and watched the Aragon movie right after I read the book. And it was so abysmal that I came out changed as a person and had learned that things could be bad at all.
It was very, very bad.
It was crushing. It's wild that the entire first book is about raising Saphira, and in the movie, Saphira, they're on their way out of the opening town. Saphira just flies into the sky, and in a flash of light, it's just a fully grown adult dragon that can breathe fire. Just right then, she just instantly turns into an adult, which I assume the flash of light was non-diegetic passage of time, but it felt diegetic the way they shot it. It felt like she literally aged instantly into an adult. And was further along into being an adult than she would be in the entire first book, which they were still covering. There's some wild shit in that movie. Like Aragon is like, people always said that Star Wars is the hero's journey. Aragon really is just the hero's journey, like beat for beat throughout the whole thing. It's not the deepest book. And the movie made that really apparent because that's all that was left when you trim it down to a movie length. But one of the most insane details is that, if I remember correctly, they moved the location where the mentor figure dies to a later part in the film, where he's just like out of the film for like 20 minutes, and then when they're doing an unrelated thing where he's not in the scene, he then like shows up, jumps out of a side hallway, like takes the shot for somebody, like just dives, like get down, Mr. President, and just like dies taking a blow for somebody in a scene that you didn't know that he was even in. And you're like, what? I thought we were done with this guy, and he just like sacrificed himself somehow. Deeply surreal. I felt insane. Before then, I was just content to watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, Turtles in Time, 1 million times, and never question it. But then I came out of Aragon a changed man.
I definitely experienced like
disillusionment
with the Star Wars like special edition re-releases and the Star Wars prequels. That was just like, yep, this shit sucks. Like,
oh no.
I grew up loving the Star Wars movies. I watched them like the VHS repeatedly, constantly.
Did you have the Darth Vader shaped box set? Because that's what I had in my house. I watched that shit so much.
That's wild.
I don't think I had a Darth Vader shaped box set, but yeah, it's like this like 3-pack VHS box set with like this like, you know, like rectangular box where you like pop the top off or whatever, if I remember correctly.
I didn't know that the individual versions existed growing up, so I didn't know which one I was watching. But I was watching the VHSs that are just like their faces on the covers.
It was a mixed reaction because it was also where I walked away really understanding the implications of widescreen versus full screen. Because I watched the VHS so much growing up, like, sure, it was nice not having like the added CGI and all that crap, but it was full screen crops. So like seeing the movies in the theater, I was like, oh shit, like, you know, as a kid who watched these movies a billion times growing up, like I'm very like ultra aware of like, oh, when that weird background alien in that specific costume shows up like twice in the movie, and then now they're in a bunch more scenes because they were like cropped out of the side of the frame. That was just like, oh shit, full screen sucks. Like,
so, yeah, there's whole parts of the movies
like,
you don't get to see. But
yeah,
like,
it's like
the display screen was so small for VHS that you are losing a lot of resolution to get the widescreen version.
But then they made all these frustrating changes to the movies, so that was. Yeah, it was initially, the novelty was cool at first, and then by the time I saw the third one, I was like, maybe I don't really like these actually.
There's so many little tiny health bars to check everywhere. It's wild. I haven't even made. None of us have even left the lobby yet. This place is a nightmare. Wow. All right, this is a project. How long does this take in single player? 4 hours?
This one actually isn't too bad. The barn took me solid 3 hours to do on my own.
God damn.
The barn has a lot of annoying crevasses.
The barn is a lot, and it's a lot of just like going over very wide spaces, but it's got like really difficult shit to like wash off, and when you don't have good nozzles, it is the biggest pain in the ass. It just took 3 hours. I had to split it into 2 separate sessions.
Damn.
Oh god. This game gave you content.
It did. I just replay shit all the time. I did that literally Wednesday for my stream.
Oh damn. For more PowerWash Simulator content, check out Ansu Blue on twitch.tv.
Everybody's so hungry for fresh new PowerWash Sim content.
Yeah. With their big wet eyes.
Yeah. Just like gone.
Their eyes are wet for PowerWash Simulator.
Subnautica 2's early access, I think, just launched yesterday, and I've already played a couple hours. And I won't spoil anything because I'm sure Keith isn't going to touch it until it's like actually out. But
yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, I bought it out of spite because I heard that if it sells even a couple million copies, which it should, based on the last 2 games, it'll immediately be putting the publisher in the red and completely fucking them, which is good because they're evil.
Yep.
So I want them to have to pay out the bonus to any amount to Unreal Worlds or whatever the fuck they're called. Because this is what happened. The whole situation was evil. The fact that he was doing it all because he didn't want to appear like a pushover is insane. Like, every corporation is led by a fake person that doesn't have a purpose. That's what I'm learning every day by every single CEO ever, is that they have a fake job and it's all vibes to them. Like, they have so little to do that they just make up shit to do. And it's like weird, like, half of it is like Andrew Tate bullshit. It's like weird, like, posturing and garbage where they have to like be the cool, strong, human adult man and have to like prove that they're so cool and everything. And they have to reinforce hierarchies where none exist in many cases, and they have to just like justify their purpose for made up reasons. And they see it as weak to like pay their employees for their labor and stuff like that. Dude made a false premise. Dude made a promise to the company to give a bonus if they did this well, and then fully intended to renege on that promise and intentionally delayed the release window of the game so that it wouldn't even happen within the window of the contract to completely preemptively nullify the entire payout. Like, he's just a piece of garbage that should be ejected from the entire industry.
I did not know about any of this stuff going down.
Yeah, he consulted AI. He asked ChatGPT how to get out of the deal, and the ChatGPT told him, but also said this is not likely to work, and he did it anyway.
Also, a bit more clarity is $250 million. And it was supposed to be like mostly split between like the 4 founding members of the Subnautica team, and then like the rest of it distributed like equally. And yeah, like the thing that was really crazy to me was watching like just the way the internet is so dumb about this shit, because like there was like, it felt like kind of a solid 50-50 split at first, with people being like, well, I don't know, I think developers are lazy actually, and I think Crafted is entirely, because basically Crafted was saying it was like, oh, the creators, they've been working on their personal projects, they haven't been working on your game at all. And it's like, because the last thing they put out was Sub-Zero, which people weren't thrilled about, there's just this whole portion of the fan base that's just primed to go feral and say like, yeah, actually they should have the studio taken away from them. Like,
even that was nonsensical, because it was like, that was even based on their narrative, was only applied to like the 2 like studio leads, not the actual studio. So it was all just inherently nonsense. But right now, my understanding is that they're like ordered by the courts to do the correct thing at this point. Yeah, it's like you have to do it. Like at gunpoint. So it's an extremely bad deal for them if Subnautica sells anywhere between like 2 and 12 million copies, which is exactly where it would sell normally based on the last 2 games.
They put out there, it's sold.
And then if it sells past a certain point, they have to like immediately pray for it to like massively outsell the maximum amount, because they're only slowly beginning to recoup losses after a certain point. Like it takes like something like 10 million copies for them to even break even. Not the studio, just the publishers that made them put themselves in this stupid, dumb situation. The fact that he didn't immediately lose his company, his entire job, after all this shit came out, just really highlights that this just capitalism's fake. It's never been a meritocracy. Yeah. It's all bullshit. No one should be willing to work with this guy ever again. I mean, bare minimum, he should be fired, because who would ever want to be published by this company again after he pulled this shit with this studio very publicly? Yep. Like, that should be the end of anyone working with them forever. And so it's like basically mandatory to oust him, and yet they still have him. What do you mean? Insane to me.
I'm totally just because the way the world is. I'm like waiting for like, oh, but actually they managed to drag out this one little clause that means they don't have to do anything. It's like somehow I know it'll like work out in the CEO's favor, but like
it's an evil
the
world.
Public fall apart of all that has just been like, it's like you don't think it can be that simple. It's like all this business shit. It's supposed to be so. There should be so many moving pieces. It's got to be more than just this one guy going to fucking ChatGPT.
No, it was really sad because there's 2 upcoming games where I'm just like, what are the ethics of buying these games? Because it seemed like for a while there, like it was going to be unethical to buy Subnautica 2.
Right.
And then additionally
Crafting from the Steam page.
And there's additionally this month we get the spiritual successor from at least nominally the spiritual successor to Disco Elysium.
There's like several.
Yeah, but this is the one by Zaum, like the company that can legally call themselves Zaum still, the real studio, whether or not the people are there. Like the no funerals for dead spies or whatever it's called. It's a harder name to remember than Disco Elysium. It actually reminds me of this scrapped name, like no rest for the Furies or something like that. It was the original name of Disco Elysium, and they scrapped it because it was really hard to remember, basically. And this new game also is really hard to remember the name of. But like, I obviously want to play any spiritual successors to Disco Elysium, but I'm like, every time I try to watch one of those documentaries that explains what happened with Zaum, I can't tell what's happened at Zaum. I cannot follow the narrative. It's so complicated, and I have like name blindness where I can't remember all the characters in the story because I didn't know who they were already. This was very frustrating because I'm like, do I play this game? Is it bad? It takes me back to fucking Telltale Walking Dead Season 4 coming out when they had just laid off the entire staff and like had a skeleton crew of like basically like picket line crossers cover finish the game without the main studio, and then it's like well, I guess I shouldn't buy Walking Dead Season 4 then. But then eventually Telltale kind of came back from the dead in some form, and they released like Walking Dead with blacker ink or something, the definitive collective edition that included Season 4, and that one benefits at least some of Telltale, because I can't tell, because obviously studios are made up, and like they lose and gain people at crazy rates, especially when the entire studio goes under like that. But that's like at least nominally, seemingly going to the real developers of Walking Dead at least the money for that version of the game, and I'm like, this is exhausting. Caring is exhausting, but also I don't have the attention span to care in a way where I can tell what's happening. But also the entire industry is evil, and literally if you buy AAA games, you're supporting evil development practices just by default. Like, I've got bad news. Just AAA games as a whole is a bad industry that just fires people left and right for fun, basically. Like, half the time they don't even have to. They just made it their business model to fire half of their employees after each game because they'd rather look good on quarterly reports and stuff than actually maintain any kind of level of, like, in-house development team that can have an actual
think of the shareholders.
Stable life. The entire industry is just people having extremely unstable livelihoods and not being able to tell what's going to happen, and half the time moving across the country for a job that might fire them in 6 months anyway. It's a bad world, basically, is where we're at the moment. Institutional knowledge is a thing of the past. That's exactly it. Is that people have lost sight of the value of like having people that know how everything works and having like a massive like growing like brain essentially for your studio of like everyone having this interconnected knowledge and interdisciplinary expertise and also knowing how to work as a team and all these other things. Like that's not valued anymore, so people will just destroy the entire development studio over and over again and then be surprised that it takes 700 people to make a game that used to take 30. I'm sorry guys, it's not only the graphics, it's actually because you don't know how to run a company anymore, because every CEO is a fake employee. I'm fully convinced of that it's a fake job that doesn't actually do anything.
I do wonder sometimes about like kind of, I'm sure there's been like so much written about this already, but sort of what the impact on the industry has been of stuff like Unity, Unreal kind of taking over. I mean, and so isn't PowerWash 2 an Unreal game?
I don't know.
No clue.
It might, I'm not totally sure about that,
Seems
but
pretty real to me. Waka waka.
well, it's just like that kind of ties hand in hand with the whole knowledge thing. Or like if you don't have a proprietary engine, then it does kind of become like well, I guess anybody from any studio could technically work on our game. Is like I think a lot of the talk. I basically have a job because like I work for a consultation company that just specializes in Unreal, and are kind of like brought on to any one of like a billion studios. They're like, we're gonna switch to Unreal. Oh God, we don't have anybody here that actually does that yet.
Oh no.
Yeah, and then we just kind of like we're the brain drain for however long that project lives before they all inevitably die. But
everyone I know that works in the tech industry is basically just like they get hired for 6 months by a company that then ceases to exist in a few months, or every project that they work on gets canceled. People work in the games industry for 10 years now and never get to ship a game, so their resume is still blank.
Yeah. That's me.
It's a bad industry. Just the whole thing's bad. It's so fucked up. I'm so happy I quit. I went to school with the hope of going to being in game development, and oh my god, I'm glad I didn't follow through. I just don't need that stress in my life. Yeah, from what I hear, like some of the only AAA developers that kind of have like a consistent, like a staff that actually is comfortable at all is like freaking like Nintendo, Valve, Rockstar, I think.
Nintendo is going to be always really interesting to me because I feel like there's like, I mean, the fans certainly were always complaining about like, why do they do? I mean, like the Star Fox thing, where it's like, what do you mean we're bringing back Star Fox finally? But it's another remake of the same thing, and it's like not really a full like what are we doing? And it's like clearly it worked for them somehow, but it's just like I've never. It's interesting how there are so few other parts of the game industry that are so like, fuck you, we do our own thing. Like we will not listen to the trend.
Did you make oh okay, it looked like you'd made like a canvas you were about to like paint on.
No.
This is a conspicuous rectangle in front of you you're staring at.
No, I was tapped out for a second, and I just slowly trimmed away at the edges of it until I could cleanly wash it all in one go.
I had not been paying much attention to Star Fox because I don't like the core gameplay of the franchise, so I was actually fascinated to find out that apparently they keep remaking Star Fox 64 over and over again with each sequel.
Yeah, I didn't really know that about Star Fox either.
Yeah,
for the same reasons, like I've never really got into the games.
That's fascinating because you imagine that each remake probably takes more work than the original version of Star Fox 64 did in the first place. Like nowadays, video games take more work than they did back then. Like it's like the fucking Final Fantasy VII remake trilogy and whatnot.
I definitely was one of the people who did not like understand the reaction to the Star Fox redesign. I'm like, yeah, new character designs look good, which is like so many people are so enraged and unhappy with them. I'm like, I don't know, it looks cool to me.
I thought they were horrifying, but there's a disparity, and the disparity in part, I think, is whether or not you found out about them live or not. Because some people are finding out about the Star Fox redesigns via like renders of the characters. Like promotional materials of the characters. The promotional materials of the characters look much better. The in-game animated gameplay that was everyone's first glimpse of these characters looks horrific. Like in the actual video game, it looks really bad. I don't know,
like it looks like kind of. That's the thing is the gameplay doesn't interest me at all, so I'm not even gonna play it. And I don't really care about it. But I'm like, I don't know. Like, yeah, the characters like look a little derpy, I guess, but like there's something charming about that look to me. I'm like.
Like they showed us like
it looks more scrungly. It's a more scrungly Star Fox. I'm like, I don't have an issue with that. Like,
because I was watching the Nintendo Direct live when it popped up, and like Fox McCloud like pops up on the screen, and he's in his R-wing cockpit, and you're just adjusting to the fact that he looks like oddly photorealistic and a little weird, and then he starts talking, and the animation for it is just so robotic and terrible. It's like a fucking like he looks like a Chuck E. Cheese animatronic. Just going chop, 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 and you're like, that looks worse than recent examples of Star Fox we've seen in movies this year. So it's a really jarring transition of like, oh, Star Fox is back. Why does he move like that? Which is funny because like the original example of Star Fox is of course him going with his mouth.
Incredibly high speed yapping.
Yeah, which would be less distracting, honestly, because it doesn't. That's obviously a weird stylized choice. Where this is like just a realistic Star Fox trying to talk with his realistic mouth, but they didn't have the animation tech to like make all of his like jowls and weird canine bod like move in a way that made any sense. So he just looks. It's just a really stiff, really restricted animation that looks like garbage. And then you see all the like character renders that they show for promotional materials, like, oh, that's neat.
Those are definitely more expressive.
Those look way better.
Yeah.
But in the video game, he looks terrible. Well, every second he's moving, you're like, stop
it. Some kind of multiplayer like VTuber mode.
That was surreal.
So it's clearly like part of the design is like, I don't know. I'm sure they just had like some kind of pitch because I guess ultimately they're hoping this is going to be like a partial system seller. Like, we need something on this new console. Like,
and
I guess Miyamoto is probably just like the first one was that's his perfect vision. It can never be improved upon ever by anybody.
It's weird to think about them remaking Star Fox over and over again, just because like, can't you just think of different shooter levels? It's not that original of a concept, right?
That's what I was thinking.
I don't understand what the magic is, like, maybe because I don't like it enough, but I'm like, isn't it just a series of spaceship shooter levels? Can't you just think of new ones? I don't understand.
Yeah, that's why like I'm not gonna get it or play the game because it just doesn't look that interesting to me. I'm like a remake of an N64 on rail shooter. Like this doesn't. There's nothing appealing about that to me. Like.
It's very weird that they're remaking it over and over again.
You know, Sony is releasing something like Returnal, and it's like, okay, yeah, Nintendo, you could probably put more effort into like your space shooter, like, you know.
Yeah. Particularly because like they already are the studio of pseudo remake franchises. Like several Metroids, most Zeldas and Marios are like almost the same overall premise and plot over and over again. They literally recycled the Save the Princess plot every game for multiple franchises for decades because they weren't that interested in telling different stories necessarily. They were just an excuse for the mechanics. So, like, why can't they just keep making new Star Fox campaigns, even if they're practically telling the restory? Oh, it gotta beat Andros again. And it's like, not even bothering with continuity. It's just like basically the same story again, but like a new game? You know? Sometimes it's okay that Team Rocket is blasting off again. But you can make a new video game when you sell people a new video game, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But
It's
like
so
a million
weird.
things have been said about all the franchises that they've abandoned because it's like they feel like they need to do something new, and everybody's just
Yeah.
like, no, actually, we just want the same thing on like I don't know after 20
Star
years.
Fox didn't
maybe
even
we
get
could-
a twee sequel entry where they're made of a strange household material. Remember that
Right.
strange
Yeah,
trend
you-
at Nintendo? Where
Yeah,
things
like
were
what, Yoshi's
yarn and
yarn or
paper
whatever? Yeah.
craft
And the
and so
Yoshi one
on.
is doing another iteration on that
Yeah.
storybook.
Yeah, there's my pseudo strong opinions about a game that I don't actually have strong opinions about because I'm not going to play it. Wake me up when they make Star Fox Adventure 2
Real.
with Rareware. That's where it'll matter what kind of legs he has when we see them. I actually recently saw gameplay footage of Dinosaur Planet because people have like, as of like a year ago, I think there's like a fully playable 16-hour long playthrough you can do of the Dinosaur Planet, like abandoned, scrapped Rareware game that became Star Fox Adventure. Like people have gotten enough of it going that there's like a actual game you can play through now. Like that's I don't know how the fuck, but they apparently got enough of it that you can play it now. And what really threw me was that I saw not Star Fox because it was Crystal's brother climbing a ladder, and it's the same extremely exaggerated climbing animation that Star Fox has in Adventure, which makes perfect sense to me. That stood out to me constantly being such a weird climbing animation, and it makes perfect sense that it was an exaggerated Nintendo 64 animation that like carried over into the final product. It's such a weird animation. Yeah, originally it was a game where you played as Crystal and her brother, and you switch back and forth with them throughout the campaign to do different levels because they had like parallel stories, like Jet Force Gemini and so on. Because that's just what Rare was into at the time, is multiple protagonist collectathons.
We even got stuck to this like photo booth, man. These fucking things are gross. It looks like there's like hay stuck to it. It's like, how did what happened in here?
I'll be right back.
He's leaving us. Now that Star Fox has canonical digitigrade legs, we can now assume that he always had digitigrade legs, and that when he lost them in an accident, he then got robot legs that were plantigrade. It all fits together. We can make this work.
Every version is valid.
Yeah. I recently watched a video that really crystallized for me the idea that like actually a fair amount of fandom behaviors in all of fandom history is basically just a series of people kind of like head-canoning all the plot holes in the thing. Like a lot of the original fandoms were kind of centered around trying to make sense of like the plot holes in Arthur Conan Doyle stories with Sherlock and everything. And like a lot of the stuff I always thought about with Star Wars before Disney, I always thought about Wikipedia and just these really excessive explanations about individual characters which then have to be explained as having an entire unique species, which is how you get the Mandalorians and so on. Just like this massive overthinking and overjustifying until you close every plot hole. There's a whole section of Dispatch fans that make a big deal about the fact that throughout the entire game, Invisigal never opens her inhaler. She's actually using her inhaler wrong the entire game. That's actually a really clever setup for what's coming up next in the story. And I'm like, I don't think that was intentional, guys. I think they just fucked up. Mainly, you know how I know, is because that game's just not very subtle, and no one ever acknowledges it. It never comes up, which tells me it was an accident. Because if knowing everything else about Dispatch, if it was on purpose, they would have mentioned it at some point. That's just the reality of that game. But that's a really cool detail. Like, I love people noticing details that make the whole story better, essentially, whether they're intended or not. That's what I did in the Beastars video. It's full of... A number of those things aren't intended, but they're really interesting when you think about them. I cannot find what is dirty in this room.
It was on a different side.
Oh, the floor is dirty.
There's also this panel back here.
Oh.
There we go. We got it. Some part of the floor was dirty.
Oh god, we had to wash all the roller skates. Jesus.
Vaporwave Circuits 2015 called they want their vomit ceilings back. This is literally us refurbishing an old building, so this is probably from that. Although, Vaporwave was a reference to an earlier era than 2015, right? There's a 2015 nostalgia for like a 1980s aesthetic. I cannot find what's dirty in this room.
It says it's the trim on the counter.
Oh, it's probably the underside of this shit.
I'm hitting Q and I don't see nothing.
Ain't nothing. Ah. Is it on top of? Oh, we got it. It was all the way back here.
Okay, I return.
I kind of fucks with the bright colors. Disco bin. It's called the disco bin and it's just fucking garbage. It's just normal garbage. It's disco garbage.
My god, there's so many.
There's so many little bits of trim.
Yeah.
Little small ridges everywhere.
What is this fuck room? What is this? Oh, it's supposed to be a photo
room.
booth? Jesus.
Yeah. What is this fuck room? I love to fuck in a completely unfurnished room with no furniture,
padded
but
cell
just padded
where it
walls and a big camera.
Hey, as long as the floor's padded too, that's probably pretty chill.
I don't think it is. I think it's just the roller derby floor.
No.
Wow, you can see that in the time lapse. You can see that the fucking dance floor is running the whole time beneath the muck.
Mm-hmm.
The gross muck is like actively like squirming. It's gross. Masterful flow. I feel like a kid again. I can't wait to get the wheels rolling for a new generation. It's exactly what this town needs. Goodbye. We're gonna fix a tractor now. Welcome back. I'm afraid you can add another ridiculous misadventure to the list. We were all really excited about opening the farm shop after the incredible job you done on the outside. But while we were cleaning out the inside, I suddenly remembered the colossal bee's nest up in the rafters. So I put on my astronaut onesie and took it upon myself to relocate it. Well, you can see how that went. Pretty funny. Do-do-do-do.
Get
This is gonna
kill
be a,
it.
Yeah, it's
This is gonna
exactly
be a
Street
quick
Fighter
one.
Car Smash segment.
Yeah.
Go.
These like brief moments of catharsis between the 10-hour-long levels. At least that's what it feels like for us as multiplayer. I imagine this still takes like an hour in single player.
No, the vehicle ones are always pretty quick. There's really only so much ground to cover.
Yeah.
Another couple jobs, I'll be able to buy
Gotta
the
firmly
third
grasp
tier
it.
of washer.
Oh yeah, I keep not checking to see if I can afford anything. I've been watching Invincible, and the animation isn't as bad as people keep talking about online. But there are certain... But I've noticed that every episode, there's a part where nothing moves for 30 seconds, and that sure seems like they're saving money on animation.
That's wild.
Just once an episode, there's a weird bit where somebody has like an extended, like, almost like improv bit of like just sort of like commenting on something for like a long time, and nothing's really moving on the screen. I just watched the Hell episode, and it was the whole part where they were slowly falling into a hole. In the previous episode, Alan the alien just talks for a really long time near the end of near the beginning of the episode, and just nothing's moving on the screen. And you're like, this... They really left Seth Rogen out here to just hung him out to dry. Like, they just really let him have a really awkward extended bit that wasn't funny and left it in. But I'm like, oh, is this just because they could use it to like not animate this bit much? I'm sure that's a bit of a health industry to work in too. Let's see, where are the spots? Okay, this, for the people at home that care, this is the season I turned on Alan the alien. I thought he was fine so far. I don't like him anymore. I found him really annoying in his, like, extended episode. Just every time he said anything, basically, he was really wearing me down. And I'm not really one who consistently has, like, a character I'm annoyed at in a story, really. I'm like, oh, everyone has a role to play in the story. And I'm like, nope, I'm tired of this guy. I'm tired of very audibly Seth Rogen doing bits in the middle of this superhero cartoon. And I don't even have a problem with Seth Rogen. He seems charming in movies. He's like, what if Bernie Burns could act? Chat says they learned about the animation industry and they switched from animation to psychology. Sounds about right. Text message from Cypress Skobalov? These names are wild.
Nice.
These like Fursona names.
No! Not the temple.
Temple, let's go.
That was not my favorite level.
And now I'm curious.
Sun shining, tractors gleaming, and the bees are a-buzzing. All is well with life on the farm. Thanks again. Thanks again, Angel. I'm Angel, I guess, but it's capitalized. But my name's not Angel, but your name's not Angel. So it's not a sign-off. It's not thanks again, comma, signed, Angel, because your name's Annie Mall. Your name's in the text. So I guess I'm Angel, but I'm a capitalized Angel. I can't tell what's going on with the names in this game.